last year was like, 8,000, this year, these are estimates, this year they're estimating like 6,600. So that's gonna go down, our maximum levy will go up, so that's gonna give us a little bit extra there. If you look on the, the paper that, with the appropriations, what was appropriated, what was spent, what's, expected to spend it for the end of the year, the balance, and then, so what I done on here was especially like, insurance, office supplies, all that kind of stuff. I just went back the last 2 or 3 years, looked at what we spent, and kind of adjusted it that way. On the office supplies, we really need to take a look at a printer up here, because this one is getting to the point where if something happens to it, they're not gonna have the parts right away. It's gonna have to be, you're gonna have to be,
It's getting outdated.
yeah,
We own that one.
yes.
Will they take it on a trade?
I don't think they will, because it's so old.
Yeah.
But I did get some estimates for like a new one versus, during COVID, a lot of places went out of business, so they have refurbished ones. But when I talked to him the other day, he said that those are starting to get few and far between because people are wanting them. And he said they have less than a couple hundred, copies made on them, which machine is really made for like thousands and thousands of copies, So, did I put that in my, I don't think I put that here, give that to you guys. So they have one that's like, I've got the estimates over here, like 3,000.
It's gotta be like 12 or 14 years old.
Yeah, it
We brought
is,
that one up.
it is. And then also with the new one, we have a maintenance agreement with this, and we pay for our copies, and with the new one, the copy prices will go down too, versus what we pay now for this. So anyway, I put like $5,000 thinking that in office supplies, thinking that we would use that for next year, but then when he said that they may not be available, they're getting, if we want to go with like a refurbished one. So I don't know if we want to, if you want to do that, if we want to just go ahead and purchase it, a refurbished this year, or this is like the
Did he give you a price on the new one, Jennifer?
yeah, he did, it's in there.
Okay.
It's in there. I think the new one's like 7,000. Of course, it'll be taken out, we can take it out of water, sewer, and general, the 3 funds.
We paid for part of that one out of this one.
You did.
Because the old one wasn't.
Well, that's true, too.
The old one wasn't colored. We used to have
That's right.
special stuff printed.
That's right.
We specifically got that one for color, so we can print that stuff.
And he said, if you do a refurbished, you have a year to decide if you want to.
Upgrade it and everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to keep it for the year and try it out.
Why not just get a new one and not worry about it?
Well, that's true.
Well, my concern about buying a refurbished one is how old are they and when are they gonna be,
Outdated.
outdated to the point they can't get parts for those, and then we bought one, and now we're kinda stuck with what we've got now. And, that's what I was thinking, looking at the difference between a refurbished and a new one.
So the 7,000 is a cost for a new one?
Yeah, 76.
Okay.
35 paid and finished.
If you do the lease, then they charge you per copy, right? Is that the deal? Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, it's not very expensive. We're talking less than $180. $158 is the brand new one.
As far as the lease, Jennifer, do they do maintenance and repair on them for the lease per month?
Yeah, and we have a maintenance agreement with them now, that, you know, anytime I need toners or any, you know, if it needs cleaned or whatnot, you know, all I have to do is call them and they come out and, you know.
And that's not on a lease, that's just,
Yeah, it's a
Maintenance
separate
agreement.
release.
Yeah, it's a maintenance
We
agreement.
bought
Okay.
the printer, we have a maintenance.
I got you.
agreement.
Yeah.
But
I
the
got
maintenance
you.
agreement's kinda weird, cause it is based off of
Yeah,
how many copies you make. So if you go over, you have to pay extra
So it's,
on your
Right.
maintenance contract.
right.
how much is it right now, just the base for maintenance on this one? That we're paying that deal?
It usually runs about, around maybe 125 a month, something like that. And depending on where you know, like if it's during festival, we're printing a lot for festival, then I'll take some of it out of festival fund, you know what I'm saying? If we're doing late notices or whatever for utilities, then, you know, this depends on.
Now, these prices that are on here, where it says like this one for 54.72, it's 63-month lease at 113.27, that doesn't include the maintenance on it then, does it, or is that
I
just
don't
the
think so.
lease of the machine?
The lease, you turn it in after that 63
Yeah.
months.
Right, but
Yeah.
is there any maintenance or anything, upkeep on it, so you gotta put that on top of this
No.
price?
I think last time we looked at that, we looked at leases, but it didn't include, it doesn't include machine maintenance. I can't remember, I mean, we have that maintenance agreement, I'm trying to remember, but even when you figured out the cost of the toner and stuff for it, it was, I mean, it was a good deal, so if anything broke on it, they just come fix it.
Yeah,
And he's your line.
definitely say we need to keep the maintenance contract with it, no matter which way we go with the lease or refurbished or new. I think we ought to just purchase it.
So we'll budget for the new one, is that what you're saying?
That's what I would recommend. If you take that 63, that 63-month lease at 113.27, you're paying $7,136 on it, and you can buy it for $5,472.
Right.
So,
So this is so that one's the used one, but it's a current model.
He
Do you
did
think we
say
can find out?
Yeah, he did say the refurbished, that they go through a Canon,
So it's coming from Canon right now.
yeah,
So it comes with, okay, that's different than it just being some used one coming out of an office space.
yeah, no,
It's-
they go in and read, and
Yeah.
it goes through a Canon, what do I wanna say, Canon, they take a look at
Yeah, they
everything.
check it
and
all
then-
out, they
Yeah, and
replace
then it
anything
goes
that's
through,
broke on it,
yeah, and then it goes through a leaf
reprogramment
one
and all
too,
that.
so it goes through two,
even the new one, you know, it's
So I imagine there's so many months,
5-year
Go with the new
guarantee on
one.
it.
I mean, as far as maintenance.
Just
goes,
buy it.
yeah, he said you have like a year to.
Year, free
Yeah.
maintenance or?
No, not free, no.
Warranty.
No, it's.
Well, warranty's
Like
what I'm
that,
Yes.
saying,
yes, because there's
I
still
mean, it's-
problems
yeah.
in the wear and tear on it.
Yeah, and why were they returned?
Yeah.
It happens all the time. It's not, this isn't like something used that you're getting from somewhere else. It's been through a factory refurbish. So it could've had a tiny part break. And Canon took it back and just sent the other people a new one and replaced whatever the little part
business.
for that, and they repossessed it. But I've bought refurbished electronics before, and, I mean, they're as new. They're coming from the factory. I would be okay with going either way on that, but this is definitely a way nicer printer than the new one that's $2,000 more. But in any case, I guess we just need to, so you're wanting to put this in for 22?
Well, I'm just asking, if you want if you want the refurbished, then he said, they're getting, there's fewer of them, so
So
we
this
probably
might be
need
something we
to,
need to
probably
talk
need to
about at
purchase
our
it
board meeting
now,
on Monday.
yeah. Do what?
So this might be something we need to deal with at our board meeting on Monday.
Yeah, or if you wanna go with the new one, then we can budget it in for next year, so whatever you guys wanna do.
I mean, we're coming up to festival here, it would stink to have this one break. So if we are getting to that point, I mean, have you ever had to wait on anything so far?
No, Jim's been pretty good about, but he's reminded me the last couple times he's here, that it's getting to the point where, you know,
Wear and tear is getting pretty bad, yeah.
I would
Well,
just say
but I
that
think what the real deal is that they're gonna quit stocking parts.
right, yeah.
Yeah, so,
I'd hate to need it yet this year. Like, say, the festival, and have it be down for a week or something like that, waiting on a part.
Now Scott Wells he's just getting into printers, but he's just, I don't know that I mean, we've had to wait for so long,
Yeah.
and they are really, I mean, like I said, anytime I've needed them, call them, and they usually get here, if not the day, then the next day.
I mean, the age we had that when we bought it, put it in perspective, that printer, take maintenance out of it, but the actual cost of that copier costs us less than $350 a year. I mean, when you
Yeah.
spread, you're looking at $5,000, if you buy the one that's $5,500, I mean, you know,
You should get
over
12 years.
Yeah,
out of it.
based on the life of that one.
They tell you how old these printers are, these used ones?
They don't,
No, he just said he had an abundance of them because of COVID. He said that a lot of businesses went out.
Can you find out the difference in warranty between a new one and a refurb? That'd be my
yeah, cause I
only
think,
question on it, it's probably worth knowing.
And how old they are too on the refurbished, cause I'm curious, you know, I mean, if they're getting to the point where they're no longer making parts for them or they're hard to get, I'm gonna buy a
And they're just
refurbished
trying-
one and in a few years can't get parts for it back, like you say, where we're at here. Might be worth the difference, $2,200 to have a new one that we know availability on parts and repairs.
Well, yeah, we definitely need to put it in the budget for a new printer.
I mean, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at is, do we wanna budget for this in 22? Or do we wanna try to get one this year?
Well, if we're not gonna do a refurbished, there isn't, well, but you, like you said, for festival, I didn't know.
You have a lot of printing to do yet, festival stuff, Jennifer.
We're doing confirmations now as we,
No massive amounts, large amounts.
Do you-
not like applications.
Do you print permits and stuff on this printer, or do they?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
we do not.
What would we do with the old printer if we purchase another? Is it,
Good question. I don't know. I don't
is
know.
that something we put up for sale for someone, or?
Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, as long as it's under $1,000, which it will be, we can sell without doing an auction, so. Just get rid of it. And that's the other thing too, is I suppose if we sell that thing working, I mean, it's not gonna fetch a bunch either way,
Yeah.
but it's gonna get a lot more than if we wait till it's broke. If you wait till it's broke, you have to pay somebody to take it,
It's a big doorstop.
yeah.
Well, I think we should purchase one this year to refurbish one. I mean, we just don't know how long this thing's gonna last, and we're taking a chance.
Are you comfortable with that, with the budget? We should be able to come up with,
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do the,
or if we do,
I think we need to see what the warranty,
in worst case, I guess.
for
we
the
do
refurbish
this,
and the brand new one,
I'd rather buy it.
cause with the way it's used, I'm thinking new, not the refurbished.
Refurbished is the same as new, we just need to know what the difference in warranty is. It's a current model that it's not like it's an old printer either, it's a current model. I mean, electronics, they won't sell something that's old. But we need to know what the difference in warranty is, for sure.
I can give him a call here in just a little bit, it'd be nice to know before.
But we have the funds to purchase one now, if that's what we decided to do, correct?
Yeah, and we'll take it out of, we can do water, sewer, general, and festival, we can do all four.
We use ARP money for it.
I don't know,
Can, it's for the utility, it's equipment.
if we use it,
At least for part of it,
yeah.
half of it.
You know, I was talking to Jim Higgins the other day, and he was saying that some communities are, and I'm not sure how they're going about it, but some communities are doing even sidewalks with this ARP money.
They're gonna get in trouble. They already talked about it at the meeting the other day.
Did
The-
they?
Yeah, the federal government is handing out a ruling like August 9th or 10th, I
And
wrote
then
it down, but these people that are spending money all over the place, they're gonna regret it.
The state
Well, I
have
was
some
afraid of
guidelines
that,
too, and they're saying they anticipate them loosening a little bit,
but not,
but
yeah,
not like go buy whatever you want.
yeah, I'd much rather stay within the guidelines.
So utility office equipment would not fall under utility,
Oh, it does.
That's why she's
Actually-
saying she can take so much out of each.
Actually, anything she uses that printer for, any department she uses that printer for, she can use the funds out of that budget.
okay.
You can use it for festival, water, sewer, storm sewer, anything she prints, anything for that department, you can use
Yeah, so it'd be
money out of each budget.
spread
So you can
across
spread it
five-
out
5 or
over
6 funds.
numerous. Of course, our festival, we're gonna have to leave that one alone as much as possible.
Okay,
So that,
so if we can make this work this year, let's just talk about this on Monday. And,
Okay.
I mean, I'm all for doing it sooner rather than
Thanks for
later.
the information.
We've got the council president line that's.
Okay, so let's go back into, let's go to salaries and since we're here. Okay, so I did put in a 2% cost of living. It's in there if you guys wanna do it, then that way if, when we decide to do salary ordinances, which we need to, we'll have to do that before the end of the year, then it's in there and then we don't have to amend,
Did we do a cost of living last year too?
We did.
Just you?
Andy and I, and Andy got his raise for building commissioner.
Yeah, that's right, it was the year before. Okay, I was trying to figure out. I
You
wanna
guys
make sure
haven't
we're-
had anything for years and years.
Yeah, quite a while, but
it's been at least 8 years, I know,
Oh, yeah.
since I've been on.
Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody can, do what you'd like with the council. To me, being on the council is not about the money. It doesn't pay enough anyway. And I don't like the idea of giving myself a raise with taxpayer money, but that's just me. So if you all think there needs to be an increase, I'm out of this discussion. But let's start there since it's the top line item. And if you guys want to discuss it.
in my opinion, I think we could stay where we're at.
I don't. What is it, 20, we're at 3,000 right now?
Yeah, yeah, cause it'd be 60 altogether, and we'd split it between water, sewer, and general, so it'd be $20.
I'd say let's bump it to 35. I mean, like I said, it ain't been raised on the council salaries for, I don't know, I can't remember when the last time it actually was. I know Arcadia, they're paying them $7,500, and the president even
Arcadia
actually
gets raises
makes.
every year.
Yeah, they get a raise, they put a raise in every year for the council, and like I said, the board president makes 500 or 1,000 more than a regular, council, because, you know, everything goes through the president, and he's got additional things that he deals with over and beyond, you know, other board members.
Well, I would go along with that 3,500.
I know when you get to $5,000, you gotta do a campaign fund and reports and finances to register, so we're still well under. When I registered the last time, they actually handed me that paperwork, and I had to fill it out because of it. I said, why is that? I've never done it before. And she said, because you guys make more than $5,000. I said, not in Atlanta, we don't. And she said, if you ain't making 5,000 or more, you don't need to do it. I said, well, we're under that. That's my recommendation. Just, you know, be something, not
Yeah.
much, but it's something.
I agree.
You have to let it set, like switch your bottle and do something else, and let the scale settle down. I mean, when the stuff ain't doing it, that way you get an accurate, you get an accurate, it'll terrorize that, it'll be accurate. So, as you turn, flip that switch over. Then lift up on it, then it'll pop right back down.
I'd even go to as the president, get an additional 500. President position, getting 4,000, and rest council 35.
I don't want there to be people wanting to be president for the extra $500.
Well, Murray,
You
I
know
tell
that
you,
will happen.
well, you know, the thing about it is, seeing what you do additionally in the phone calls and the contacts and the things you do, there's more to it than that.
There
That's
is,
the only
but like I
reason.
said, being that there is, you know at some point somebody's going to.
I can tell you $500 wouldn't make no difference to me, because I wouldn't want. You know, I mean,
Well,
not that, you know, I mean, like I said.
you've gotta
I-
hope that
I
the rest of the council would not approve somebody as president if they weren't qualified.
I don't want it. If somebody gives me an extra $500, I'm donating it to something.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna take it, I'm not up for that.
Being, you know, being that Murray's president at the present time, you know, he does not want it, so if you want, as far as I'm concerned, we can, you know, just go straight across the board at 35, you know,
So
down
what's
the
that?
road some other time or whatever, you know, I mean, comes up next year, whatever. But, yeah, there's a lot more to being the board president. Like I said, with my health, I probably will never be, you know, I don't even know how long I'll be on the board, but as far as president, I'll never take that position. Unfortunately, like I said.
No, well,
Okay, so we'll be going from like 1,000 out of, general, water, sewer for each of you guys to,
Let's see, how do you divide 500 3 ways? Does it divide? No.
well, so we'll be
166,
going from, yeah, we're going
166.
from, yeah. So we'll be going from like, 1,000 to,
Make it divisible by 3. So you either do 300 or 600.
You just break it between the 3 departments, general. This comes out about $5,833.33 out of each fund, if you break it evenly amongst 5.
right.
so what are we have a number here?
Yeah, $1,166 out of each fund is what's in.
What about the fractional extra dollar?
Do I?
What about the fractional extra dollar?
Well, yeah, we just, when you're doing the salary ordinance, when it, just like, it's just like out of general, it's 1,008 cents. You know, right now is what it is, yeah,
So we can do that.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Water right now is $999.96, you know, and sewer's the same.
so what'd you say, 5,000?
Actually, on my calculator, I think working on my phone.
$166, is that right?
1,000, yeah, $1,166.
So 61.66. Okay, so your clerk one, you've got the 2% in there. Are you happy with that?
That's fine, these, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and, if you look down at salary, salary adjustments, that's where, instead of adding it into, we just added a line item for salary adjustments, and that was, so let me put this in here. So my salary is split between general and water and sewer. And then Andy's, building commissioner. You can come on in, yeah, Annie's over here, she can help you out.
To see what I pay my Duke Energy here. Or my, Price, care.
So what do you total that? Is general fund like half of yours?
I have mine split 3 ways, just like council is.
Okay,
So like right now, my, it's 29,727 out of general. And then water is 9,771, and same with sewer.
go on the budget here, where do we do that water? I do it through energy,
Or
where you pay,
like, where you pay online.
no, where you pay the same agreement, and then we adjust it.
Well, it's based off of 2,000 gallons, this price. So, if you go above it, but if it's just you,
My grandson,
So if you did a 2% for me,
there's no reason why
for general fund, it's gonna be an extra 600,
you want it 350.
so 644.
Which is this
Which is
3322 number?
Which is in, yeah, if you do 2% off of that, and then, so that, the 956 and the salary adjustment, that's where the 600 is.
But you've got it appropriated for 21. So that 956 is,
Not me.
That
oh,
would
you
be,
gave yourself a raise last year, or this year?
yeah, I mean, if you put a 2% raise in, that's where it's gonna go, that's where you're gonna see it, as
Okay.
far as the number of
and
it.
when is the agreement?
This is 250.
So
For all 3 of your salaries, it'd be, what, $986 total
And is there anything else we pay here, or we
on all 3 at 2%.
Now, if you decide you want to
Yeah. let me do that.
Yeah, we're gonna build it, and we're making it about the, and I make this out to,
Atlanta utilities.
Well,
Where's I see that at?
if you're happy with 2%, I don't know if that's keeping up with inflation or not, but that's what most people are doing,
5.6.
that's what I'm getting. Right, that's what I'm getting.
You sure 5.6 will cover it down days?
You know, I mean, anybody feel free to ask for what you really want, but,
Do you mind putting just
but,
350? It takes
but,
all the
if you're happy with
rhythm
that,
so
I don't
it's
know what
just
y'all
like
think.
there.
I think that sounds reasonable.
The banks so quickly
I do.
use, they
I'm-
take the
I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too.
Say right now, inflation's through the roof, so that ain't gonna touch nothing about what it is at the present time. Let's hope that the economy recovers and things come back to a little bit of normalcy, but we never know.
To do like a 10% one next year,
We have plenty,
Dropbox. We probably Dropbox out on the sidewalk.
Thank you, I appreciate
If there's
that,
any
yeah.
time out here,
do you, this deputy clerk, you have
write that amount on a check.
enough money in there?
Yeah, I think so, and that's what it's been in there for quite a few years. I hate to take it out because, you know, I think we'll be fine on that. Now the extra help, I put, 2% on that. And of course, that would be in the
That's in
nine
salary
fifty-six,
adjust-
yeah, that's in the, uh-huh.
So,
and we're not probably touching that. You know, I guess we spent 24,571 out of it.
Well, and what I do with, it's little Andy is who that really is, so what I do is, take his out of water sewer, and then depending on what he's doing, if he's mowing or, whatever, then it comes out of MVH and general, so those two split his third part, so. And,
and we're trending in such a way that plus a small percentage would be enough money for him.
I'd actually like, he put a 2% on what his salary was too.
yeah, and in the salary ordinance, you guys have changed it to where he can make up to $20 an hour, so.
Is that what are we giving him now?
$17.50.
I'd like to put him at the 20 myself.
You know what, I kinda agree because, I was talking to, well, Andy's got a friend that works for Cicero.
I know,
And he's making like
starting out,
$50-some thousand, Colton is. I mean,
Yeah, that's the real world. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you guys,
Well-
I had an offer 3 weeks ago to pay me 20 grand more a year than I make here. Andy can go Cicero right now and start out at $22.50 right now. And if he would go to school and get his license, that $22.50 goes to $32.50.
Yeah.
If not more,
And that's,
depending on where he's
you
at.
know, like I
No,
wrote-
staying at Cicero in the position he's in, he'd get a $10 an hour raise for getting his license.
Yeah, and, you know, as I always said, you know, you wanna keep good employees, you gotta take care of them, and with what's going on right now with the economy and whatnot, he's a good employee. I'm in town all the time, I see him, he works very well by himself, he stays busy and does his job, and, you know, I mean, he's, I was hoping that he would take advantage one of these days of, that
I'm trying.
apprenticeship for the utility department and get certified, so if he ever wanted it, cause those licenses are, they're valuable, they're just to the point where you can almost name your price because of people that are in that field are retiring, and there's no one that's, you know, going into it that well, and it's a good guarantee because there's always gonna be that job, cause state is always gonna mandate that towns have operators.
The Alliance did a survey this spring after our conference. And the results of that, 60% of the licensed operators in the state of Indiana will either be retiring or at retirement age in the next 4 years. 60%. There's already a shortage.
Was there anything about that apprenticeship or something?
No, I mean, it's available. I was trying to get him to do it. I tried to get him to do his wastewater. I mean, wastewater's easier than water. And
Oh, did they?
I don't know.
Hey, I can relate to where he's at, cause I was that way 40-some years ago, and I was offered the same thing, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna be here, I don't wanna be a sewage plant operator, and 40 years later, I was still in charge of the place, and I wasn't the one making the big money that I could have been.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
whatever 20 grand or whatever they were paying him would have been on you.
Yeah, I could have had that years ago, you know, I mean, I just got bumped up to decent, reasonable salary, you know, when I became, you know, the certified, or, well, they considered me the town manager, basically. But, you know, I could have been making that money from the day I started, I could have been making my operator salary.
I can tell you this, it's been 7 years since we had a rate increase in utility, but when we did that, Gerber Brock did that study. It was budgeted for full-time employee then. So
What?
we haven't been paying that. I mean, the money
No.
it's sitting in there.
Just refresh my memory here on when we went back, been several years ago, I remember being in on a meeting where the part-time we gave some benefits to as far as like paid holidays and things like that. Is that all we've done?
Yeah.
No vacation time or anything like that?
No.
You know what, I think it is really in there, cause I think I was looking at that one.
I
day.
can't remember, cause I remember
think
voting on
it-
it.
Well, and this is why, it doesn't say full-time, it says employee, town employee. That's how it's worded, a town employee gets a week's vacation, paid vacation. But it doesn't say full-time or part-time, it just says town employee.
We need to specify that.
Uh-huh.
Can we, I wonder if we could just change it, if we wanted to give part-time some paid vacation, we ought to set it up where they accrue it.
So many hours,
Yeah.
they work so many hours to
Or you
be
work-
eligible for it.
Yeah, you work 40 hours and you get an hour or something like that, I don't know what it is. But set it up where it's an accrual, so that way if him or anybody else that works for the town, you know, it's not like a person that works 10 hours is gonna get a week, and a person that works 35 hours is gonna get a week, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. That's the way my wife does every shift, she gets so many like an hour per, 12-hour shift or something, and it accumulates over the year. But I think we need to do that, and I make a motion, we bump Andy to 20. Like I said, I think he's a good employee, and I don't wanna see him leave because somewhere else doing the same job is paying, more money. Right now it'd be $5 almost an hour more than what we're getting him.
I think the reason why Andy is not looking at the apprenticeship program so much is that it requires a lot of studying, it also requires tests. And a lot of guys at that age just don't want that kind of responsibility. It's not that he doesn't feel he could pass it, it's probably just, I'd rather not get involved. Because I went through apprenticeship before, and they're pretty rough, they can be. And they want you to come back with the best kind of grades, you know what I mean, so. They don't want an apprentice making Cs when he's capable of making As. So there's a lot of responsibility to apprenticeships. And I don't know how long apprenticeship is on it, for 2 years, it's 4 years, why is that, but that's 2 years, he's gonna have to go to school, and he may not wanna be making that kind of commitment.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be his advantage in the long run to do it, especially when it's free.
I told him it is.
Absolutely. But it's up to him, you know.
And they're still doing it. I don't know how long. I know part of it comes from federal money, but they're still doing, they'll pay for part of it, you know, they'll pay for most of it. There's a program for it, for the Alliance.
Well, that's the only way I know you can get a skilled trade job, you know. It's
Well, that's the
licensed, you know.
That's the
That
problem
cheap.
with municipality, to get a municipal license, you have to work somewhere.
Absolutely.
At a municipality, I mean, you can't just go take a class and go to school and get it.
You gotta have so many years under, you gotta have so many years under a licensed operator, and he's gotta sign off and everything. He's eligible to take this exam. There's a lot of requirements to it, so.
You guys, there's biscuits and gravy out there, and donuts, and,
And casserole.
yes, casserole, please help yourself.
So I agree, we need to give Andy an increase.
So bump him to $20 an hour,
Mhm.
okay.
Well, it's only, I'm not saying that isn't fair, but if he wants to do the apprentice thing, this is what we talked about before when we set it at 20, was having some wiggle room for,
You have to give them a raise
Incentive there.
You have to give them a raise, part of the apprenticeship program, if you get the grant, you have to give them a raise every 6 months. And I minimum raise is a quarter. So over the 2-year period, you at minimum have to give them another $1 raise if they complete the, program.
I haven't talked to Andy about the apprenticeship program. Do you think it would sway him any if we asked him if he would be willing to do that officially?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I've already told them the value of it.
Okay, okay.
Well, maybe after he's here a while, you know, like I said,
Yeah.
getting out of school, you know, he's been out of school just a few years.
I know he's a big fan of school.
I know.
So I'm sure the thought of.
You know, when I got out, I didn't want to go back to
I
school.
couldn't get far enough away from school when I got out of there.
You know? No, I told him the advantage of it is, I told him, I said, if you do it now, you get to be my age, I said, you'll be making well over $100,000 a year.
You know, Ben, the flip side of that too is he's licensed. And, you know, if he ever got to the point he couldn't or didn't want to do the physical labor of being everything else, doing all the plowing and the shoveling and in a lab where he didn't have to do all the physical labor. Because those licenses are what's going to get you in the door at any other facility.
Okay, another code enforcement at 3,100.
wait a minute, so are we,
Oh, I'm sorry.
what are we doing that at?
So
Are we
with
taking up
Andy's
the-
raise, we could take more of it out of the water and sewer.
Well, there's money in there for it.
Yeah, so,
Money in there for the
so,
full-time.
Just leave the general fund to what it is and take the difference out of the water and sewer split.
I would, it's already.
Yeah,
It's already figured in there.
Yeah, it's appropriated for that.
Well, if we take him all the way to 20, you're just gonna have to be happy with bumping the max up if he does the apprenticeship thing.
Yeah, which is, you know, that's no problem. We can do that
250 is
every
a
year.
humongous raise. I mean, I think if you, I guess I don't have that strong feelings on it.
all right, code enforcement, I left at 3,100.
Has he really only
Used $140 this whole year.
$140?
I saw that.
We need to get some more stuff done. I mean, I don't know what Jeff's schedule is.
He's got a time card back there now that, cause sometimes he'll just come in for an hour, and so I asked him, I said, Jeff, you want me to give you an hour, do you want it to accumulate a little bit of time? He said, just accumulate a little bit of time, so there's maybe 3 hours out there right now, should be paid for, but yeah.
I mean, I can start making him a list, but that kinda defeats the purpose to me.
Yeah, him being the code enforcement. I'm
mean-
with you.
My idea is to spend less mental energy on some of this stuff, not more.
I don't. I even thought about getting an additional code enforcement officer, you know, I mean, it's all an hourly rate, but.
Oh. Okay. Have we ever gone over what we budgeted for ordinance?
Just one time with you, I think, and we had to amend the sound ordinance.
And we're paying Jeff 20?
It's 155 hours a year.
Mike, I have a feeling that if he's only used $140 this year and we're August 2nd, that he won't be our ordinance enforcement guy in 22.
Well, I told you, I mean, he's running for corner.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of irons in the fire. I mean, he's trying with the things that he has dealt with to approach it well, but he's just not spending the time on it. I mean, it's gonna be a couple hours a week, probably, to do stuff well. So that being the case, I would like there to be enough money there
Spoon or something.
to add a
Or
minimum,
something, your hand?
have the same number of hours that we're currently got, but at 25. I mean, we might even need to go higher, depending on who we would end up getting.
Yep.
But I remember when we hired him, some of the people were talking about one, at least 25. So that would be,
I took 2 weeks, you know, he said cut at least 2 hours a week. You think?
well,
On
so,
average.
what'd you say?
At least on now? Right now it's 155
They're
hours.
working 8 hours. Say they work 8 hours a month, times 12, times the $25, it'd be another $2,400
So that's
to do that. It'd be 96 hours, additional 96 hours a year, $25 is $2,400.
So if I've gone over before, and this is 12 hours a month, almost 13. I mean, I think we figure that same amount of hours, but increase it another 20% or 25%. In dollar amount. So, increase at 775. Makes it 3875.
$3,800. No, what did you say?
Yeah, that would give us the same amount of hours, but an extra $5 an hour.
And we can leave it at $20 an hour for time being and see who we hire, and then if it's somebody that wants more, we got the money in the budget.
And if it's somebody really awesome that wants $30 an hour, we'll just cap them on out, just say, hey, whatever you can get done in this amount of hours a
You're
month.
worth $30 an hour, you
Yeah,
take the
whatever
problem,
that means,
take care of
9
the problems a
hours a month
lot
or
less time.
Yeah,
Okay, so change it to 38,
$38.75.
38.75, okay. Okay. Building commissioner,
Well, I mind, before we go there, I'll ask you a question, Murray. You know, when you was code enforcement, when you write tickets and they go to court, you have to be there as well? I mean, you, as a witness
If
or
you're in that
whatever.
1% increase, you did
Yeah.
put
So
that
you're
on the
required,
building
oh, I
commissioner.
didn't know.
yeah, I did,
You
I
did.
did, his is in there,
A
yeah.
representative for the
His
town.
is,
It
um,
makes
One
sense
of
if
those
it's
So, and you get paid for that as well?
It's
Yeah,
in-
Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of a pain.
it's in the salary
doesn't
adjustment
happen
right
very
here,
often.
the 75, it's in that right there.
Oh, cool, so all adjustments are out of the general
Yes.
fund is all totaled under that
Yes.
one
Yes.
line item, okay, I'm with you.
So the sheriff's department, that's their raise per the contract, I guess.
Sorry, my stomach was growling. Yeah, so the sheriff's department, are we on that right now? Did you guys go on to that? Okay.
That's just the contracted raise.
Yeah, it's 2% every year, so it's in there. FICA and perf. I always estimate high on the FICA, and then the perf is actually high too. The legal, I put it 30,000. That's in case we have any extra, you know,
And if we want them to do anything special, now,
and.
do you pay American Legal out of legal?
I don't know, I've never paid them, I was gonna see where Robin paid that from. Cause I was thinking,
Last time we did it.
was festival, cause I didn't know, you know, even, some
Well,
could even,
I keep thinking about it, and the more I think about it, and of course, they're gonna give you quotes on stuff, right? Once we get everything finalized with them, but has he given you any kind of ballpark
yeah,
on digitizing?
on digitizing,
Yeah, we need to do that.
no, I haven't asked on that one.
And also, I meant to ask, the new website, I guess I should have looked at it to see, it doesn't have any of those ordinances on there, does it? Because if they haven't been updated,
Right,
I mean, all those ones
no,
that here.
there's none on there, right now.
Was it Pinnock? Scanned in?
Do I?
Jerry Pinnock. Didn't
He
scan those in?
scanned all those for the website, but that's been 10 years ago
Oh, I don't
now.
know.
So there's no
I don't
updates
remember
in
that.
there.
I do not remember that.
So yeah, we can't have any ordinance.
We
stuff
do pay like, London Whitty out of, legal for the tip work.
on there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we pay them out of that. So I
Well,
just,
whatever it is, I wanna be able to pay for this codification, which we can do, no big deal. I'm sure it's, you know, there's no real way around it anyway. But we need to budget for digitizing and then a certain amount per year
for
for
updating.
updating. And we'll just keep doing it. We ought to do it annually. We can't have another stretch of 8 years or 10 years or whatever it's been. We need to do it every year.
I think right now,
Kinda as we go along, and then if it's digitized, the public will always have access to that. all of our books will get the packets in, replace the whatever affected pages there are, and just set it up like that.
I think right now the estimate that he had emailed me over, don't quote me, but it's like 25, maybe, 25 to 3,000, I think right now, so.
Just to update our books.
Yeah, just that, yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully, so, I mean, I don't know what to, do we need to leave, do we need to, and we could probably do that at a legal, I imagine. Or we could create a separate line item if it's something that we're gonna do annually.
So you guys comfortable with 30 then on that?
If we run into issues where we need more than that, we can transfer out of the other account down here where you've got other or miscellaneous, take out of that and transfer if we do.
So our contract with Nick Boyd works out to 22-ish, I think.
24, I think.
24, that's right, too very much. How much you been paying the guy for the tip stuff? Or does it vary based on,
Yeah.
probably vary based on how much
Yeah.
you do?
It's not gonna be more than 2,000, maybe 1,500 or something.
So that leaves us, we'll say, 4,000. Well, here's the deal, it's not like we'll never have an extra bill for legal. It's just our rate with Nicolay is so much better, so if they do go over, it's not, we're not gonna have a $3,000 bill like we have with TAP.
We got
It'll
one
be
more
like-
tap bill. I just got it.
Of course we did.
How much is it?
It's 1875.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the normal
For what? For what month?
for,
June?
July. June, I think it was.
June.
After you send the check, let me know. So I need to, once they're all paid up, I need to go down and do all that stuff. Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
so,
we can leave it at that, we can always make an adjustment later.
okay. So, for treasurer, it was 35, we took it down to 3. I think we need to boost it back up to 35 because now we are going to have our conference in November. Right now, we've just been doing the webinars and our dues come out of that for our yearly dues and whatnot, but right now, we've just been paying, it's not been, maybe $25 or whatnot, so.
Whatever it takes to continue the education is
Very
important,
important.
so.
Yeah.
Is everybody all right with that? Yeah. 100 increase here,
Yeah.
is that enough?
That's what it always was before, I think it will be.
Okay.
I think it will be.
Alright. The insurance is going down.
Well, the only reason why I took it down was I looked back on some of our past, it's always been about 48,000, we've always kept that in there. But, of course, we don't have a fire truck, we're insuring, and all that equipment and all that kind of stuff, so that did come down a little bit, so. I looked back and we've not spent. Now, the letter that we got